In terms of the economy, Alan Greenspan's comments about the unemployment rate may be surprising to some people.
The unemployment rate will be significantly lower a year from now, but between now and then, largely because of people coming back into the labor force, almost irrespective of how much employment expands, the unemployment rate will probably stay high. I don't think it will stay at 10%, but it's not going down very quickly or very dramatically.
Okay, now if you're waiting around to see what the unemployment rate will be in, 6 months, a year, 18 months, to get a feel for how the economy is doing, to get some kind of sense of whether Barack Obama made good economic decisions or not, don't rely on the media or the politicians to tell you, because it's already written on the wall, Lewis, what's going to be said. If unemployment stays the same or goes up, Republicans will say, hey, things are terrible. Obama messed it all up. While Democrats will say, this is a jobless recovery. These recoveries have been successful in the past. Everything else is improving. Jobs will come back. If unemployment does decline, which Alan Greenspan says it may, Republicans will say it's temporary jobs that have been created by the stimulus for silly stuff like alternative energy retrofits and the like. And also because people have been unemployed for so long that they're going to stop looking for jobs and therefore won't be counted as unemployed anymore. Maybe some of our audience doesn't know that if you stop looking for a job, meaning you no longer receive unemployment benefits, they expire, or you simply stop looking for a job, you no longer count as unemployed, which in essence means the unemployment rate goes down, even though it's not new people with jobs. If unemployment declines, Democrats will obviously say things are great because unemployment is decreasing. So we already know what we're going to hear from the media, and we know what we're going to hear from each side of the political spectrum if unemployment goes up or down. I don't know that it's going to be a good indicator for people to judge how the economy is doing.
I don't know. And of course, what we just said was the unemployment rate is actually higher than what is being said right now.
Right. As people just have been unemployed for so long that they stop looking for work.
Right. And, personally, I think there's too many benefits for, as is, unemployment benefits.
Well, we know, Lewis, that you're very conservative.
Let's not go that far.
Obama's recent speech about banks. Here's what he had to say.
Another major bank announced that it would be repaying taxpayers in full. And when they do, we'll have collected 60% of the money owed.
Well, that's good news. And also talking about getting the economy moving again.
At the same time, I've been hearing from bankers that they're willing to lend, but face a shortage of creditworthy individuals and businesses. Now, no one wants banks making the kinds of risky loans that got us into this situation in the first place. And it's true that regulators are requiring them to hold more of their capital as a hedge against the kind of problems that we saw last year. But given the difficulty business people are having as lending has declined, and given the exceptional assistance banks receive to get them through a difficult time, we expect them to explore every responsible way to help get our economy moving again.
So that's where we're at now? We gave all this money to the banks. What was that?
Forcing banks to lend?
Well, hold on a second. That's not even my point. We gave all the money to the banks already, right? We bailed the banks out to get the economy going and to start lending to small businesses and to start lending to medium-sized businesses.
And I believe some just got even more money.
Some got more money. Now some are starting to pay back the money because they're doing so well, right? They've made so much money now. So now Obama's saying the same thing. We need banks to start getting the economy moving. That was the point of the bailout, which has resulted in so many of these banks turning high profits. We're starting over. It sounds to me like we're starting over at the very beginning with Obama saying, let's get the economy moving.
Well, like 6 months ago, Obama said the same thing. We need banks to start lending.
Right. So the banks are doing great now, which is excellent. But still, there's a credit shortage. Some are calling it a credit crisis. It's amazing. According to a new Gallup poll, congressmen are considered the least ethical and honest profession in the country. And this ranks 21 professions. Congressmen were rated as having low to very low ethical standards by more than half of the people polled. Car salesmen were the only other professionals to be ranked that low. Amazing. A couple of gay marriage pieces of news. The Washington, D.C. City Council yesterday voted to legalize gay marriage. This means couples could begin to marry as early as March. Same-sex marriage right now, to give you an update, is permitted in 5 of the 50 states. Here in Massachusetts, as well as Connecticut, Iowa, and Vermont, marriages are legal, and they're currently being performed. In New Hampshire, they'll start on January 1st, just a couple of weeks away. In New York, same-sex marriages from other states or countries are recognized, but they're not performed. And in Rhode Island, 2 opinions of the Attorney General suggest same-sex marriage should not be recognized, but a Supreme Court opinion seems to contradict this. They are not performed in Rhode Island right now. Senator Jim DeMint from South Carolina, who never is shy about his opinion, said that he would be troubled if the country were to elect an openly gay president because he finds homosexuality immoral. Okay, that's Senator Jim DeMint. Annise Parker, the woman who made history on Saturday night by becoming Houston's first lesbian mayor, is making her first openly gay official elected. It makes her one of the first openly gay officials elected to lead a major city. Interesting, and we will follow how that goes. I don't predict that her state of Texas is going to legalize gay marriage anytime soon.
I doubt it, but, well, I don't know much about Houston. Must be fairly liberal.
It's not. I think it's not as liberal as Austin, but there's a strong liberal community in Houston for sure, as with any large city. Swine flu, according to new numbers released by the CDC, swine flu has caused almost 10,000 deaths in the U.S. and has infected about 50 million Americans. I may have had swine flu. I'm not sure. I didn't get it badly. I just had like a low fever a couple of weeks ago, and it just kind of lingers.
I mean, it was in the area. It was at the schools around here.
Right.
I've never heard of anyone having it personally.
Oh, I see. I know tons of people.
See, I don't know anybody.
Oh, yeah. I know a ton of people, and I'm pretty sure.
But are they sure it's swine flu? Was it diagnosed as swine flu?
Well, I guess that in the people that they've tested, about 99% of the time that people have a virus, it is some version of the swine flu. I mean, I didn't have it too bad. It was just like, I don't know, a fever of 100, and I lost my voice. But yeah, I don't know. I think I may have swine flu. I have had it. I'm not saying I have it now. Don't worry, Lewis. So I don't know overall how serious this outbreak has been. It all depends. In 1918, the Spanish flu killed 20 million people and infected up to 40% of the world's population. Doesn't seem things are that bad yet, and we are getting the vaccine spread much more significantly around.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm not worried about it.
No, I know you don't get vaccinated for any. I think you might actually not even be vaccinated for measles, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, you might even have smallpox, to tell you the truth. No vaccines for you, I've noticed.
Not many.
Not many. That's all the time we have this week. Plenty more next week on Midweek Politics. Midweekpolitics.com is the website, and you can email us, radio@midweekpolitics.com. We'll see you next week.
This is Midweek Politics with Dave Pakman.